have been optimizing their Google ads on the wrong things. And the teams and agencies running these Google ads for these B2B SaaS companies don't even realize this. They are sending conversions, which are MQLs, form fills, demos, and Google is exactly doing what they are telling it to optimize and to bring in more people which fill in the form rather than people who end up buying. Today, I'm going to talk exactly why this happens with so many Google Ads accounts. I'm going to tell you how to solve it by showing you a real example of a B2B SaaS client which was getting 0.7 ROS. That means they were losing 30 cents on every dollar. And just in 9 months, we took it from 0.7 ROS to 2.5 ROS. And I'm going to show you how exactly we did this. Let's deep dive. It is tough to run ROI-driven Google Ads, and we've already talked about some of the problem statements, how most of the accounts running Google Ads, B2B SaaS companies running Google Ads, spending extensively, are actually optimizing for the wrong thing. I'm going to take you through a case study, as I mentioned, where we went from a 0.7 ROS to 2.5 ROS just in 9 months. Now, let me first This is exactly how a This is exactly how a typical failing B2B ad account, Google Ads account looks like. This particular client of ours had 90 plus campaigns running. They had more than 600 plus bidding strategies competing with each other. Most of the keywords had 5 out of 10 quality score. And of course, they were losing money, 30 cents on every dollar. We all know what this problem is called. It's called fragmentation. As simple as that. 90 plus campaigns. Google needs 30 plus conversions from each of the campaigns. So we are looking at about 2,700 conversions, which practically is almost impossible in the B2B scenario. And having keywords with quality score as low as that, there was no doubt in our mind when we did the audit for this account, the first glimpse that we saw, CPCs were inflated, and we know why. In fact, the entire conversion data was highly inflated. 500% inflation of conversion data. And let me tell you why this was happening. And this is very typical of companies, B2B companies, and their Google Ads account. They were treating each and every conversion as the same. PDF downloads, chat opens, pricing page, views, newsletter signups, everything was counted as the same conversion. In fact, the problem does not end there. The problem is that every decision, budget allocation, keyword targeting, etc., was all based on these false lying data. And this is where we picked up after we were done with the audit. We knew we needed to stabilize the account first and then scale it further. And what exactly a ROI-driven Google Ads requires? First, it definitely requires offline conversion tracking. So make sure that you pass on Google Click IDs to your CRM and send the events back to Google Ads. One of the least used strategies is value-based bidding. Now, of course, the problem is conversion. It is probably not fair for me to expect a lot of accounts to even think of value-based bidding because they don't have the basic conversion tracking only set. That is a big problem, a big gap, and that is why I say this is probably the least used strategy. So value-based bidding means a 500K enterprise deal needs to be valued differently from a 5,000 SMB deal. Similarly, a MQL needs to be valued lower than an SQL, which needs to be valued lower than an opportunity or a deal. And that is how you send those conversions back. Third, campaigns need to be consolidated. Creating more and more campaigns probably worked in 2010, 15, but does not work today with Google Ads. Google requires you to send those signals, 30 signals at least if you're running search campaigns. You need to consolidate the campaigns. The fewer campaigns, the better quality signals that you can send and the better quality output that you can get. And finally, something that I generally don't understand why this happens. The landing pages are also optimized for form fills. Nobody is looking at the entire pipeline and saying, this is how we need to change our strategy, change our landing page, change our keyword strategy or a bidding strategy. Landing pages become very important they impact the quality score directly. They drive the conversions, they drive the entire funnel after Google Ads, after the prospect has clicked and jumped onto the website. It is always better to have a landing page which is getting 4% conversion but 35% SQLs compared to a landing page getting 8% conversion but just 10% SQLs. Please remember that. And this is exactly how we started working towards this particular account. The first phase was the first couple of months. We knew we need to stabilize it. We removed the redundancy in the campaigns. We removed the fragmentation. We got 90 campaigns, got it to 60 in the first couple of months, worked on the keywords, worked on the copies, worked on the landing pages, improved this quality score from 5 to 8, and removed all the SKG structures, which are, again, very old school strategy, right? Next, in the months from 3 to 6, this is where was the opportunity for us to start scaling now with certain level of stabilization already into the account. We got the data variance to 20% approximately from 500%. The conversion problem that existed was now gone. We got 25 plus landing pages created specifically for campaigns so that the quality score improves, the CPCs go down, the overall funnel looks good, and the overall conversion also improves on the landing pages. And we had already reached a 1.3 ROAS. We were already profitable by the end of the 6th month. The next 2 months were more about scaling this profitability. We removed more campaigns. We completely took out the complex structure, the multiple campaigns which are of no use. We got it to 40. We doubled the budget. We got AI Max for discovery also activated. Budgets doubled, new campaigns launched. No, the performance did not drop. We were keeping a close eye on a daily basis, how each dollar is being spent, and is the infrastructure working at all points of time. This is where we use our own AI tools as well, which you can find this links in the description below. We use a lot of Google Ads MCP to get these insights, get the root cause analysis very quickly and on a real-time basis, always know if something is working or not working. And that is how we reach 2.5 ROAS, almost a 350% improvement from the baseline of 0.7 ROAS. This is exactly what the results look like. And this is amazing. And that's why we have a testimonial from this client as well. ROAS went from 0.7 to 2.5. Cost per sign up was reduced by 45%. CTS improved from 4 to 7%. Quality score 5 to 8, which is great. Active campaigns brought down to 40 and monthly spends were doubled. And this is the hallmark of a ROI-driven Google Ads account. This is what we do. This is our bread and butter. GrowthSpree is #1 AI native B2B SaaS agency. We help B2B SaaS companies with their Google Ads account. We help them solve their scalability challenges. We help them with scaling based on ROI, where the pipeline matters, where the revenue matters, and the focus is not on the vanity metrics. The focus is not to increase your spend or charge more as the spend increases. The entire focus of the team is to drive every dollar and make sure that it is accountable to revenue. So if you're looking for help with your Google Ads account, if you want us to look at it, do an audit, suggest you a plan, and probably work with you, please visit our website and happy to do it.